Hello everyone, it's me, DillysSims. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Speed Build Sunday, the day of the week where I build whatever I want because I can. So this week I decided, I went through Google, because I didn't know what to build, and so I was like, weird houses, strange houses, funny houses. And I ran into something that kind of looks like this from the front, sort of, except it was more beachy. And then for some, my biggest pet peeve about the Sims cats and dogs is that they don't have like oceanfront property where your house, you take a few extra steps and you're on the beach. Does that make sense? Like, I would really like lots in the Sims where they're closer to the beach, so your Sim could just like walk out of the house through the back door or whatever, take a few extra steps, and boom, you're there. Not like run half a mile to get to the beach. Because I really wanted a nice like beach background, but this is the closest thing I could get to the water, sadly. So I think it looks okay. You guys get the premise that it's like a beach house, right? Hopefully? Yeah. Anyways, I promised drama for you on Thursday's video, but I didn't have that much drama. So, I have drama and stories to tell you. I'm making the finger pyramid of doom right now. Well, where do I start? Where do I start? Okay. Let me start off with... Oh, my date. Yeah, my date. Okay, so I have kind of been avoiding one person in particular. I'm gonna call... I don't even know what his name is, actually. Did I ever catch his name? No, I didn't. I have no idea what his name was. Oh my god. Let's name him Kyle. So, I had a date with somebody named Kyle, and I was like, I avoided him at first because he asked me out, and it was around the same time that I was like, my life is so hard with school and math class and all that, and like finals coming up, and that's when he asked me out, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go out with you. And then finals came around, and I was like, stressed, can't, stressed. So I canceled on him, and then I just avoided him completely for a couple of weeks. And then he messaged me and he's like, hey, do you remember me? And I was like, yes I do. And he goes, we were supposed to go out, and I was like, yeah, I remember. And he's like, did you still want to do it? And I was like, you know what, I made him wait so long, so I said yes. I made him wait, and I felt bad, so I said yes. Oh god, I should not have said yes. So this is how it went down. He asked me out, and I said yeah, and I was like, where do you want to go? And he said, I don't know. And I said, can we meet somewhere halfway, because he lives like 30 minutes away and I don't want to drive. I'm already done driving to school that's 30 miles away, and he lives near the school, so I'm like, did I say 30 miles? 30 minutes away, and I don't want to drive that far now that I'm done with college, or going to that school in particular. And he said, yeah. So I was like, where do you want to go? He said, Denny's. And I was like, ooh, Denny's, I haven't been there in like so long. Sure, I'll go. So I went to Denny's, and I texted him to let him know that I was going to be late because I was running late. I got off of work and I had to go pick up my sister from school, and my sister liked to play this game where she doesn't pick up the phone when I call her. So I told him I was going to be late, and he said, yeah, that's fine. And then I showed up, and he's like, oh, sorry, the bus. And right there I was like, the bus? Ew, gross, the bus? Why? But I didn't say that. He's like, the bus is taking so long, I'm so sorry, I'll be there soon. And I was like, okay. So I waited and waited, and then I felt like I was being stood up. So I asked Google how long I should wait until I like leave. And according to Google, you should, if they text you to let you know they're on the way, you should wait 30 minutes. If not, you should wait 15. Like, if you're like, I'm gonna meet here, I'll meet you here, and then they don't tell you that, you know, I'm running late or anything, then 15 minutes. when Google was so nice and helpful, Google told me that it was not my fault and that I shouldn't feel bad because they were late. Thanks, Google. Google was so, like, helpful. And so I waited and waited. 30 minutes went by, and I started texting my friends, and I'm like, he's 30 minutes late. And they were like, leave. And I was like, you know what? I'm here. I'm sitting down at Denny's. I'm going to treat myself to food. I've been dieting, if you guys didn't know this, so I've been, like, cutting back on my food consumption. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat food. I got a salad. Yeah. I got a salad and delicious coffee. And then he finally showed up, right? And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And oh my gosh. Confidence when you're dating anyone is like, or if you're gonna go on a date, is like the sexiest thing. Not even if you're gonna go on a date, just in general. Like, being confident is the best thing ever to just project to the world. Because he showed up, and I'm so sorry if you guys can't hear this. He was talking like this. Like, I was gonna, like, hit him in the face. If, like, he spoke too loud. So he just, like, whispered at me. Just like that. If you guys couldn't hear that, I whispered into the microphone. Oh my gosh. It was so low. He was, like, so low. Like, oh my gosh, so low. So low, I could barely hear him. And many times on our date, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, could you say that again? I'm sorry, could you say that again? And this kid does not live. I do not know what he does with his life, but he does not live. So I was playing the, get to know you game. And I was like, so what music do you like? And he was like, talking so low that the only word I could hear him say was R&B, rap. And I was like, okay, not a thing that I'm into. And I was like, do you watch TV? He's like, no, I don't really watch TV. And I was like, okay. Here's a list of TV shows I like. And then I went through a long list of TV shows I liked, and he was so quiet the entire time. Through the entire date, he was so quiet. I felt like I was dating myself, which I would totally go on another date with myself, but I just spent most of the date talking about myself to basically myself because he just sat there really quietly. Yeah. And so this made me so angry because I was like, I wanted to shake him and like slap him a little bit because I don't understand. He's 21, 22-ish. Everyone knows around my age who lives in America knows what a podcast is, right? Yeah, everyone knows what a podcast is. If you guys are younger than me and know what a podcast is, everyone probably knows what a podcast is, so I'm not going to describe it. I was like, oh, so do you listen to podcasts? And he was like, I'm sorry, who's that? And I was like, no, podcasts. And he's like, yeah, whose podcast? I don't know her. And I was like, podcast is not a person. Podcast is a listening service. I got so mad. And I was like, oh, just so you know, I have to leave at like 5:45 to make it home at like 6 to a family thing. And he was like, oh, okay. If he said anything, I was like, oh, why do you have to leave so early? I was going to say, well, I planned on you being here on time, so. Yeah, that was like a whole hour of my life that I wasted basically talking to myself. Which, in retrospect, I spend 20 minutes voiceovering, roughly. So, it's like me talking to myself for 5 voiceovers. Which, luckily, I have all this practice of voiceovering because I don't know if I would be able to handle it if I didn't, like, practice talking to myself like I am right now. And, where do I don't even know. I don't even know where to go with this. He was just quietly speaking to me. I had to, like, ask him many times, and it was bad. Oh, and then I described what a podcast was to him, right? I was like, it's like a radio, except, no music, just people talking. And he's like, oh, okay. I don't like the radio. And I was like, okay. You don't like the radio? Okay, that's fine. And then I said, I like to listen to podcasts when I'm driving. And he says, oh, I don't drive, which obviously because he showed up on a bus. And he's like, oh, I don't listen to I don't like to drive. because I fall asleep behind the wheel. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with you that you're falling asleep behind the wheel? And he's like, yeah, I like it when people drive me, except I have to trust them because I don't want to die. And I'm like, you don't want to die, but you just told me that you fall asleep behind the wheel. You made it sound like it's a thing that happens every single time you get behind the wheel of a car. So, are you sure you don't want to die? Well, maybe that's why he has his own personal driver, quotation marks, called the bus driver. Like, showing up 30 minutes late and then not being an entertaining guest made me so mad, so angry, like, just for wasting my time. I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at myself for wasting my time. I'm low-key mad at him, actually, because I felt bad that I said no to him the first time, so I was like, yeah, I'll go on a date with you, whatever. Oh, and then he, like, in the date, we were talking about relationships, and I asked him if he was in a relationship previously. He said no, he's never been in a relationship. The only relationship he's ever been with was one, and it's been himself since birth. And I was like, okay. And he said he's too afraid to get into relationships, and he doesn't want to date or have kids. And I'm like, then why the hell are you here wasting my time? Why? I don't play these games that you're playing. I have shit to do every single day. So why are you playing these games with me? And then I left. Not after that, but, you know, like, 5:45 came around and I was like, I have to go to my family thing. Yeah. It was an emotional roller coaster. For sure. And then I called my friend Patty and vented to her about my date. It did not go well. It's fine. It was one pity date, and I mean like pity as in I felt pity for him, not the other way around, so that's fine. Yay. I have a birthday party today. I'm just trying to think of other stuff to fill in this, like, because I know I made a mental list of things to talk to you guys about. But I have a birthday to go to today. I've talked about her before on this channel. It's not Heather, because me and Heather are combining our birthday parties this year. I'll talk about it a little bit more when it gets closer to till our birthday. Her name is Brooke. I've talked about her before on this channel, and then I told her about me talking about her, and she was like, what, you talk about me? And then, oh, it was funny, because it was just right after I finished talking about her on this channel, for some reason I gained a sub like the next day, and she was like, it's because of me. It's because of me. They were like, whoa, what's this Brooke that you're talking about? So if you're listening to this channel, Brooke would love it if you give her another sub for her, obviously. I love Brooke. She's so funny. She's one of my favorite coworkers. I made a list of all my coworkers that I actually like. It's small. It's like small-ish. Is it small? Let me see. I'm not gonna count right now because that's a lot of like quiet time and you're just watching the video, so no. Oh, there was something else I was gonna say. Ooh, Tom is pissing me off lately. Oh no, did I say Tom? Tom? No, not Tom. Tom is my mortal enemy. But actually, speaking of drama, Tom, I found out. Okay, so there's like certain times you're supposed to take your lunch. And so my boss, Sam, told Tom to go on lunch at 2:30. And Tom wanted to go on lunch before, and she was like, no, go at 2:30 because it's gonna work out better that way. And you know what happened? Because Tom's a little bitch. Sorry about my language, but he's a little bitch. Tom, oh, it made me so angry that he didn't get fired because, oh, this kid makes me want to, like, swallow a handful of pills instead of talk to him. He, like, went up to Sam and was like, I'm using my California sick pay and I'm leaving right now, bye. And then he left. He just left at 3. Instead of, like, taking his lunch at 2:30, he decided to stay till 3 and then just book it at 3 and be like, yeah, I'm not going to, bye. I was so mad he didn't get fired that day because I was like, you are literally the worst human I know. Like, the absolute worst human I know. I'm not even joking when I say the worst human I know. Like, I was talking to my friend Brooke, and she was making a list, and she was like, yeah, I didn't invite Tom and then Tom's squad, because I realized Tom has a squad at work, and they're all horrible people, just like Tom. And she's like, yeah, I just didn't invite Tom or his squad. And I'm like, cool. And the funny thing is, Tom isn't even the leader of his squad. I don't know if I mentioned this in my videos previously, but, you know, I got time, so why not? Tom is like, how would I would describe Tom's squad, quotation mark, as like Regina George. So there's a girl, let's name her Kathy. There's Kathy, and she would be like the Regina George, except she's not like as pretty or as skinny as Regina George. And then comes Gretchen Wieners, which would be Tom, because Gretchen Wieners doesn't like sharing Regina George or anyone else, and neither does Tom. Tom doesn't like to share his friends. He just likes to be the center of attention, even though he's ugly. And God, I sound so petty, but hey, I have to talk for 20 minutes, so. And then there's Karen Smith, and it's this sweet girl named, ooh, what am I gonna name her? No, I don't want to call her that. I don't want to call her by her name. Even though I kind of like her, I don't want to call her by her name. Let's name her Amber. So, it's Kathy, Tom, and Amber, which make like Regina George and her squad at work, at like my actual work. And no, they are not as attractive as Regina George and her actual squad. And oh, there's a new girl too. And it's so funny because, like, you know, sometimes life mimics movies. So there's a new girl that came into work. Let's name her Lexi. Let's name her Lexi. So Lexi came into work. She's new, and she started becoming friends with Tom and Amber. And then I started to realize via Snapchat that Kathy, Regina George, is no longer in their Snapchats anymore. And I'm like, wait, so is Lexi actually Katie? Did Lexi show up and just steal Kathy's friends just like in Mean Girls? Cause this is some crazy shit, and I love it. I'm living for the drama. It's so good. I'm loving it so much. I just love juicy drama. I'm not normally in it, but I like to report on it. I'm basically just a news anchor on my own channel about my life. Yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen if I continue doing this. And like, oh, how old will I be? In like 50 years from now, I'll be like, and then she took one too many vitamins from the nurse, and she passed out. That was my old man voice. Oh god, I need water now. I shouldn't have done that without water. I'm stupid. I have like 2 minutes to talk still. Oh my goodness. Or is it a minute? I think it's like closer to a minute. But I don't know what to say. Oh, I have some more juicy gossip, but I don't know if I have enough time. But yeah, I hate Tom. Tom is the worst. Tom, like, tried to steal my best friend Heather away from me. So that's what everyone asks me, why do you not like Tom? Why do you and Tom not get along? Because Tom tried to steal my best friend. Tom went to my best friend behind my back and started talking shit about me to my best friend. And this was before I knew Tom and I had a problem. Like, this is when I thought Tom and I were friends. Like, I literally thought at some point Tom and I were friends. We hung out outside of work. I invited him to my birthday parties. I, you know, included him. And then how does he repay me? By talking shit about me behind my back. Do not trust anyone, kids. This is like life advice with DillysSims right now. Keep your... just, you know, have your friend group. Make sure they're good friends too. Because there's also like not good friends. And I've seen it. Not through my friends, because my friends are great and I love them. And they like... But I've seen like friends who shit on each other and like actually mean it, who like bully each other. That's not the type of friends you want. Anyways, I'm getting close to the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you think of this build. If you want to download this build, I'm gonna name it right now. Tall Beach House. Tall Beach House. Yes, you can find it in the gallery under Tall Beach House, or by Googling, finding me in the gallery, DillysSims. Like, subscribe, comment, do all those fun YouTube things, and I will catch all of you guys next time. Bye, everybody.